Hello everyone, my name is Jason Parker. Welcome back to this channel about magic. Today I'm reacting to Horret Wu, a magician appearing on Penn and Teller's Fool Us. I don't know anything about him except he's going to be doing some kind of card magic. Stick around to the end of the video to hear an Aesop's fable and possibly learn something. And that being said, let's just go ahead and launch, leap, and jump right into this.
I'm from Taipei, Taiwan. I started with card magic when I was 13 years old, just because it's more affordable as a kid. I decided to be a full-time magician after I won the first prize in the World Championship of Magic. I think there is a connection between board games and magic. You tell the players very simple rules and people will have fun. It's the same in magic. It must be clear and simple for the audience to enjoy the trick. The trick I'm going to do tonight is very simple, almost like a board game. So hopefully, Penn and Teller won't be able to understand the rule of the game, and maybe I can fool them.
Wow, that guy looks really good with cards in sleight of hand.
Here's the card magic of Horret Wu.
Some people say that magic is just a science we yet understand. What I'm going to show you today is magic, but could be science in the future. So I'm not here to fool you. I'm here to enlighten you. Now, with this pack of cards and this lamp, I might be able to do something very interesting and experiment. Now, let me show you what this is. This is blank cards. It's not even playing cards. As you can tell, they're all blank. They're all blank on both sides, like this. But there is something very, very special. In the card, you can see there's a frame. And inside the frame is where I can absorb the energy of light. Sounds creepy, let me show you. Now, let's start with red. If I put the card underneath the red light, the card starts to absorb the energy. Like this. It turns red from blank. Thank you. Now, to show you again, like this, it goes in blank, and it comes out red. Now, I know, maybe it's too fast for you, so we must do some slow motion, right? Now, let's try this. To do slow motion, we're going to change a color, like blue. This is the weak blue light, so everything will happen very slowly. Watch this. One card, blank. Put it inside the light, like this. Gradually, you'll start to absorb the energy very slowly. Just like this. Thank you. Now, actually, because this is a weak light, so if we put it back, it's easy to fade away, back to white, like this. Gradually, you will see the card goes back to white again. Thank you.
Okay, I'll just give you some quick thoughts. It seems to me like the first part, without explicitly saying what's going on, is that he's performing some kind of like gambler's cheating move, which is normally very difficult to do, but he's performing it very flawlessly and it just looked like normal. The second part with the weak blue light, to me that looks like some kind of photosensitive card because of the way he was holding it to the light and kind of waiting. So I'm just gonna label that second part as technology. Anyway, moving right along.
Now, if we really want black cards, we can use strong blue light. And it changed to blue very fast, just like this. All of a sudden, everything just changed. Of course, sometimes we make mistakes. For example, we have enough blue cards here. So if we want other color, we just switch it to green. And that's how it works. This is how I get my green card.
Is that supposed to be a pun?
Some of you might suspect that it works because the heat of my palm. So I'm going to use tweezers. I don't really have to touch cards. I just use tweezers like this, and just underneath the light,
that's
they
cool.
still change to green.
That's cool. He did that with tweezers.
Now let's take a step further. What if I keep changing the light very fast, like this? As you can see, the color keeps changing. And if I put one card underneath, the card will keep changing by itself, like so. It's very beautiful. But not just this card, all the rest of the cards are now changing underneath the light. Like this. It's a very beautiful moment until I fix the color with white. Now I got a rainbow cards. Thank you. Now, for those.
Okay, that was pretty cool, everything he showed so far. I don't know why that last moment was some kind of applause cue. I think we could see they were all different colors before he stopped the light from changing. But yeah, it's a really cool concept, the idea of this light changing the color of the cards, and he was doing again that difficult card move, but this time he did it with tweezers, which I've never seen before. Let's keep going.
To study, you might see something different here. Here I have only 3 colors, but they are not random 3 colors. They are green, blue, and red. That means if we put back to it together, it became white again, like so. Every card became back to white. Thank you. Now, I know what you're thinking. Yeah, it's easy right here because there are 3 basic colors, but here it's like a mess. But don't worry, remember that white is also a color of light. It's weak now, but if we get close to it, like this, gradually you'll see the card started to fade away, the color fade away and go back to white. Every single card, like this. Now, one more thing, one more very interesting thing. Have you ever heard of the invisible light? Also called like a radiation, microwave, or X-ray. What if I can put X-ray into the cards? Check this out. On the count to 3, I have X-ray like this. Now you'll see that it doesn't change color now. The card became totally transparent like this. Not just one, but the rest of the deck, I got 2, I got 3, I got 4. Every single card now is transparent. Thank you very much. And more, because the X-ray is too strong, not just the card, but also my mat become transparent, leaving me only one question.
Nice.
Did I fool you?
That's pretty cool. Alright, let me go ahead and give you my thoughts before we hear what Penn and Teller have to say. So when he changed the cards to just all white, I didn't see how he did that. I don't know if it was some camera editing or I just missed it. Later, when he changed the cards to all being clear cards, I did see something. Even though the editing of the video was kind of meant to obscure the moment, they didn't completely remove it, so it actually gave us a chance to understand what he was doing, which was basically some smooth sleight of hand to remove the normal opaque cards. Changing the mat at the end to also being clear, I didn't see it happen, but at that moment I wasn't even really watching closely because I kind of felt like the effect was over. Kind of reminds me how Eric Chin with his Imagination Coins Act, at the very end you go look back and all those coins that were on the table are now just like ink circles. They kind of catch you in an off-guard moment when you're not paying attention. Anyway, my guess is that he did not fool Penn and Teller. I think he's doing some great sleight of hand. He's doing a lot more than I'm able to do myself. And I thought his concept and presentation was very creative. But let's go ahead and hear what they have to say.
Taiwan.
Yes, I'm from Taiwan.
And is there a lot of magic in Taiwan?
Actually, we have many good magicians in Taiwan, but we don't have so many theaters in Taiwan, so it's hard to find a good place to perform magic.
Why do you think that is?
Because in Taiwan, the audience, when they see something amazing, they'll be like this. Cool. Like this. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
But in America, it's like, oh, like this.
You're very expressive. Well, let's see if Penn and Teller can tell us how you did your trick.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
Penn
man.
Teller.
You're really good. You're really good with cards, and it's a really good routine. And even though it wasn't card magic, you were doing a lot of traditional card moves, and amazes me that you're doing traditional card moves with rubber gloves and tweezers, which is just mind-blowing. And in terms of the plot, what we thought was fascinating was your light is your magic wand. It's the make-believe that makes the trick work. It's the cause and effect that you've laid out with a magic wand. Except magic wands never do anything. In a couple cases during this routine, the light actually did do the magic. And it's a really wonderful routine with a great plot all the way through. And I don't want to get hung up in any clever puns or anything, but I think we can say that you were doing wonderful card magic with rubber gloves and tweezers, and your light was not only a magic wand, but also a magic device.
Well, I don't speak that language. Do you? Because I don't understand that.
Yeah, I think they get it. They get the point. Wow.
Well, thank you so much. Horret Wu!
Thank you.
All right, let me go ahead and give you my closing thoughts about the entire act. So first off, I do have to say that I think he did a great job. That was a cool concept of having the different color light changing the color of the cards. I can honestly say I've never seen that before. Secondly, when Penn said that the light actually did some of the work, I think he was talking about that soft blue light that seemed to be affecting what I would call a photosensitive card to turn it blue temporarily. Also, I suspect at the end when he turned the light off to make the cards transparent, that helped make it more visual that they had changed to clear, transparent. So yeah, it was a very cool creative act, and clearly he's quite a skilled card magician, even as we see from his intro piece. As far as the rubber gloves are concerned, I was actually thinking the gambler's cheating move type thing he was doing for half of the routine, that the rubber gloves would actually help with that. Sometimes certain magicians can suffer from their fingers being too dry, and having the rubber gloves would provide a cool grip to be able to do things easier. In fact, I kind of wonder if that's how his whole concept for this routine developed. Maybe he was practicing this move to learn it from the beginning, and he started using latex gloves to begin with and thought, oh, this is so much easier, and then had a concept of like, oh, you know what? I can build a whole routine around this. I'll be wearing a lab coat, and it's something about like science and magic, and then it'll totally make sense to be wearing these gloves. So it could have possibly developed from that side all the way to this point. So yeah, that was a cool performance, and first time I've ever seen Horret Wu perform. Probably will be seeing him again because he seems like a really great magician. Like he's not afraid to get involved with difficult sleight of hand. Oh, and by the way, when I talked about a camera cut earlier in my commentary, I actually like the way they did it this time on Fool Us. Sometimes, occasionally, I feel like they cut something that's too significant, but in this case, they cut something so it was distracting enough to someone just watching the video casually, but if you were looking really close, you would actually be able to understand what he did. And in my mind, that's like a perfect combination of video editing slash whatever. It's just a perfect combination, okay? And how did you like his performance? Feel free to let me know with a comment below. And now, you've been waiting for it. It's arrived. We're all here. It's Aesop's Fables story time. We're gonna do a totally random one this time just by flipping through I like this. And we are reading The Hares and the Frogs. Oh no, this is kind of a long one. Don't worry, I'll try to read quickly. Chapter 25, The Hares and the Frogs. The hares once gathered together and lamented the unhappiness of their lot, exposed as they were to dangers on all sides and lacking the strength and the courage to hold their own. Men, dogs, birds, and beasts of prey were all their enemies, and killed and devoured them daily. And sooner than endure such persecution any longer, they one and all determined to end their miserable lives. Thus resolved and desperate, they rushed in a body towards a neighboring pool, intending to drown themselves. On the bank were sitting a number of frogs, who, when they heard the noise of the hares as they ran, with one accord leaped into the water and hid themselves in the depths. Then one of the older hares, who was wiser than the rest, cried out to his companions, "Stop, my friends, take heart. Don't let us destroy ourselves after all. See, here are creatures who are afraid of us, and who must therefore be still more timid than ourselves." End of the story, and there's no moral of the storyline. But I think in this case it's actually rather clear, and that is perspective. Your perspective determines your reality. Is the glass half full? Is the glass half empty? A lot of reality as we experience really does is based on our perspective. I've come to appreciate this more and more in recent years, that the power of positive thinking can really have a great impact on your life. The things that you tend to focus on more and more and more are going to be the types of things that you end up seeing more and more and more. I've even heard it said you can go so far as to kind of program your mind with positive thoughts. And these are called self-affirmations. You can Google it. You're welcome. Smash like. So yeah, I felt like this time the Aesop's Fable had a rather positive message to it. despite the fact that halfway through the hares were ready to commit suicide as a group. You never know from whence positivity may blossom. That being said, if you enjoyed this video, smash like. If you want to see more reactions like this, check my channel homepage, subscribe so you don't miss anything, click the notification bell, and I'll see you next time.
Yup.